Are you ready for your window shoppers to become paying customers? Ecwid is here to make that happen. With dynamic Facebook retargeting, we'll show the exact product visitors saw on your site but didn't purchase wherever they go on Facebook and Instagram, automatically. So sign up now in your Ecwid control panel in the marketing section and look for the Facebook remarketing app. And if you sign up now and spend $50 by December 24th, you receive a free $100 advertising credit from our friends at Facebook. So get after this. Rich, did you hear that? So you just need to spend $50 and get $100 of magic Facebook ads. Get after this. Okay, back to the show.
This is the Ecwid e-commerce show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard Otey.
What's going on, Richard?
Hey, what's happening, Jesse?
Yeah, it's good. I'm pumped today about the guest we have on, because this is kind of for people that just have this little bit of an idea in their head of a business. This is the perfect opportunity for them.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about how to get on Google Shopping feed, and if you got a product, here's the things you should do with SEO. And we've covered so many things, but we've never really covered a topic where someone just had an idea, or maybe they had a following and they wanted to get something to market, but they didn't want to have inventory, and what do they want to do? And so we specifically wanted to cover what we'd call print-on-demand service, basically, and some of the things that you can do with print-on-demand.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's bring on our guest, Wes Taylor from Printful. How's it going, Wes?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming down as the fun trip from Los Angeles to San Diego.
Exactly.
There's worse places to come visit, though. Thanks for making your way down.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it down here.
Yeah, awesome. So, Wes, we talked a little bit prior to the podcast here. So, give us from your view, why print on demand?
Oh, so print on demand is pretty much a no-brainer, if you ask me. It's just a really great way if you are very business-minded, you have ideas, you have that entrepreneur heart, but sometimes you don't necessarily have the financial ability to just go hardcore and buy lots of inventory and all this stuff for your ideas. So print on demand allows you to start a business or start a merch store with little to no cost, especially with Printful, that is. It lets you test out the market. It lets you just do one-offs. So it's just a really great opportunity to test out your market and get things started for yourself.
Sure. So in case we lost anybody with print on demand and merch store, so what are we talking about? What kind of products does Printful allow people to sell?
Sure. So with Printful, we have a very large catalog of products. They range from apparel to accessories. So you can do now cell phone cases, totes. We have like throw pillows for your couch that you can have outdoors too. So that's a thing for you. We also have traditional just t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. We have leggings, swimsuits, beach towels. It's nuts. So
does the merchant have to pick which SKUs, or can they kind of say they have a customer? Let's use this. Take a specific example. We have a customer that we're going to actually be building out a store with. He's an author. One of the things he's saying in the name of his book is "What is your what?" and was thinking of doing a T-shirt with that. And we'll just use that as an example. Does he have to pick the 4 SKUs that logo is going, or that saying is going to go on, or is it open for one of his clients to put it on anything they want, or is it either?
Sure. So from the store owner perspective, or which would be the author in this case, he would go through and choose which specific shirt that he wants to print on, and then also the colors as well. So we have a very wide range of products, from old school Gildan to like new school Bella Canvas. That's much more like fashion fitted, form fitted, So depending on your target audience and who you're selling to, you can find the product that they are going to want, which is also a nice thing that you can do with the print-on-demand drop shipping, is you can test that out as well. You can kind of put up the boxy old school tee and the new form-fitted tee and see which one is there. But it also allows you to give your customer that option of if they want kind of the baggy loose shirt or the tight shirt. So, and then even from there, there's, different fabric blends that they can choose to work with. So there's lots of different options for them. But we offer sample products, so they can always test out for themselves which they want.
Oh, nice. So they put in some sort of code so they can, I want to try these 4 things, put in a code, and then get it at some sort of discounted rate.
Yeah, well, it's even simpler than that. You just have your Printful account, and there's a button that says new order. You hit it, and then there's an option that says sample. Click it, and then it's going to be 20% off. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. So, wow, that is so cool. So basically, someone's sitting there, they have an idea, they're watching a debate, they're some sort of saying that was growing up with a kid, they just want to do it for a family reunion. They have the option to go in and buy 1 or buy 25. Is there some sort of way...
Or buy 0.
Yeah, well, that's
right.
true, right? Or just get the sample. But in general, could you say now you've proved it and it worked, and now they could easily sell 500? How, is there a system, or do they have to reach out to a rep, or how could they get it at now a potentially discounted cost now that they proved something out?
Sure. Well, so in general, kind of like the ideal scenario is like they would work with Ecwid, for example, and you would put your product for sale there, and that is where you would direct your customers to purchase it. So let's take the debate, for example, like you mentioned, or maybe something really popular just happened on this TV show or this sporting event, and the whole world saw it, and everyone's talking about it, and so you make your product for that. You place it up on your store. You tweet out the link, you publish it wherever you want to, social media. You can do it on Instagram and use the shop now so that you can sell it that way. And so you're not paying anything on the Printful end until a customer buys it. So that's kind of the nice thing there. And so that's how you can go about doing that. But let's say it is something super popular. You mentioned printing like 500 shirts. So we do everything one-off using technology called DTG, direct to garment, which is just kind of this cool new thing that it's kind of like a big inkjet printer, if you will. So it prints all the colors at once, which makes it affordable to print everything one-off. But we also have screen printing available at Printful. So in that case, if you do know, like I'm doing a pop-up shop or a trade show and I want to have a bulk inventory there for that, you can contact Printful and we can do a little bit cheaper pricing for you for doing screen printing for a big bulk order. And then we'll just ship that to you.
Got it. So, I mean, a basic T-shirt. So let's go average numbers here. So somebody says, all right, I got this perfect saying for this T-shirt. I'm gonna make it on Printful. What does that normally cost the merchant for that T-shirt?
Sure. So we have a very wide range of prices also with our T-shirts because that's kind of depending, again, on the target audience you're going for. So our cheapest shirt is $8.95, and that does include the printing of it. So that's what that is. And then shipping is on top of that, which you are going to charge your customer for, so you don't have to worry about that really. But yeah, so that's how it is. The prices are always listed on our site, and that includes the the fulfillment cost of that and the printing as well. So we have
basically more, we'll call it like somewhere between $8 and $15 for
sure.
a shirt.
Yeah, I would say our average mid-level shirt is like $13.
Okay.
And so from there you can we have some that are more expensive, and that's kind of more of a premium fill, which you can also then charge more for because it is a premium shirt, a premium product, and you can sell it as such. There's lots of options there for you to be able to run whatever type of business or merch store you want to run.
Okay. And so now we kind of skipped over the design of this. So with the example Rich mentioned, a previous podcast, Steve has his name of his book is called What Is Your What? Mm-hmm. So if he has just the text, what is your what? Or for other people listening to whatever's going on in the news or sporting events, you can literally just come with text and then design it on Printful. Is that the case, or do you need to have a designer?
Well, so the answer is yes. So there's lots of different options there for you, again, and it just kind of depends on where your skill level is in the world of design. So let's say you don't have any skills or access to any programs to design anything yourself.
So you have no skills, no talent, nothing.
Right. You just have the idea.
Yeah.
So you can actually create a very basic text design within Printful and have it pushed directly to your store. So if you do have just a saying, you can hop on Printful, you can plug in those text, you can move them around however you want, you can change the colors, pick the font that you want. We also have little clip arts and emotions on there, so you can even put cute stuff like that. We just added for the holiday season coming up, kind of ugly sweater designs. So now you can even go in and create your own like ugly holiday sweater in there if you want. So
you have some prefab stuff that's in there too.
Yeah, you just go through, click it. It's really great. So that's kind of like basic. I have the idea. I can't do anything else, so I can do it that way. And then we do have print file guidelines on our website for whatever product it is. And you can download those, open them in Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever. So if you are a designer, have a little bit of skills, you can do all that stuff yourself and then just load your file into Printful.
Got it. So, okay, perfect. So if you don't really have a whole lot of skills, there's a way there to do it.
Right.
If you have Photoshop experience or your friend has Photoshop experience, your design can be a little more, a little fancier, I guess.
Right, for sure. And then we also have an in-house design team, so even that is just another way to remove an obstacle. If you have the idea, the drive, desire, but you're just unable to do it yourself, you can contact them and commission them to create whatever it is that you're wanting.
Is that like a cost per hour or per project?
Yeah, you just contact them because there's lots of things. Yeah, it's kind of like time, complexity of what you're working with, how many things you're wanting, all that stuff. So,
but it's available and it's tiered.
Yeah, it's there.
So someone can come in, they just have an idea, they could get going, they can A/B test it.
Right.
If they could even have someone on Fiverr do a design for $5 and it may or may not be good.
Exactly.
but these are all options available
Right.
to them, all the way up to hiring professional services through you guys to actually have a designer. That's awesome.
Exactly.
And so now they know what print on demand is. They don't have to have this big inventory. They understand that they don't even have to have great design experience. But should they want to work with someone, they can. Or if they have someone they work with and they want to, now it's just follow those design files that you're referring to. Make sure it's this type of file,
exactly,
and this size. And then I'm sure when they're picking out the products, is there some sort of layout where they could see what it looks like on the shirt ahead of time and decide what that actually before the hitting sample button?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a little tricky, and because you are looking. I mean, it's not tricky at all, actually, but you just have to keep in mind you're looking at a computer screen versus an actual physical product. But we do have a mock-up generator that will show you kind of the placement. That mock-up generator is free, and actually when you're syncing it over to your store, it pushes those mock-up images over so that you don't even have to like do your own product photography if you don't want to, because again, that can cost money. But so there's this free option that your customers will see. You can even choose. Some of the shirts have people already wearing them. We're adding lifestyle mock-ups. So like we have a backpack, for example, that someone can sell. And we already have images of like a person wearing the backpack in a setting. And so you can have these nice lifestyle photos that you're generating with your images on it. So you can get an example. But yeah, it's always just keep in mind that it is a computer screen versus the real product.
Well, we'll just say we'll stick with the 80-20 rule. 80% of it is the general concept is there. Might be a little bit closer to the strap on the backpack than that, or it looks a teeny different, but you're going to have a pretty darn good idea, like, wow, that's way too big for that backpack. Let me shrink that down just a little bit, or that's a perfect size. But for the most part, you're going to have a good idea with that model.
Yeah, absolutely. And we even have a hat mock-up generator. It's all the same generator, but with the hat, it actually generates it to kind of look like the thread, and it's like the only one out there. Like there's not another hat mock-up generator that's going to show you like this kind of looks like thread.
Okay.
So really impressive stuff that we have there that's available for free,
Yeah.
So these services have been around for a while, the print on demand. Man, I can't even remember some of the names, but I'm sure you have competitors out there. But why Printful? What is it that Printful's doing that's unique? Because I've heard a few things there. It sounds like you have other services or other things. What is it that makes? Why should people, other than the obvious easy integration with Ecwid, which is partially why we had you on, this is super easy concept with how quick and easy you can set up the Ecwid store and then connect the two. They don't even have to have product images. They don't have to have inventory. They don't have literally bare minimal effort other than a creative idea and a desire to try to do something. Sounds like you got some other things going on there. What is it about Printful they should know?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest thing that sets us apart from other print-on-demand companies is our quality. We work really hard at that with just even quality control. We do tons of testing always on everything. Every product we add, we do tons and tons of testing on to make sure that we're going to be able to offer a product that's going to have good printing on there. Another huge thing that has to do with our quality is that we do everything in-house. So some other print-on-demand companies, you will have to pick which supplier or manufacturer you want to use within the print-on-demand company. So a shirt might come from Michigan, and then the next one might come from this other store somewhere else. So we do all that stuff in-house. So we have 3 locations right now, Los Angeles, Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Riga, Latvia. So that's really cool because let's say you have a customer in England and they buy something from you, so we can now print and ship from Europe. And that's going to cut down some of the shipping cost and customs fees, stuff like that.
And it's going to look the same, too.
Right. It's going to look the same because across all of our locations, we're using the same technology, the same printing, the same codes.
Same vendors.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
so,
as far as shirts.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about getting different types of quality from different locations. So that's a huge thing as well. And so we've grown really to kind of be just a really great solution for anyone starting out or anyone who is already established. So let's say you are an author, you do have your own books, you're shipping them yourself. We also offer warehousing and fulfillment. So let's say you have your book or maybe you're selling jewelry. That stuff we obviously don't have, but we can warehouse that for you. And then you can still have that product synced to your Ecwid store. And every time a customer buys it, it's synced to Printful. We pull out of your stock and ship it for you. And that really frees you up to now start writing your next book or start creating your next product. And you can start concentrating on marketing and all the stuff that you're good at that's gotten you to the place to where you need someone to fulfill for you. So it's going to allow you to step your game up in your business. So that's kind of like the big things that's making Printful stand out from the crowd, really.
Yeah, I love that extra. So this kind of ties in people who, as we started this podcast, we were like, hey, we're going to have this conversation to help people that maybe don't have a product yet. But what you're saying is they could also have a product, right? So they could be trying to test something. Maybe they're going to specifically use these shirts to help market a product. So maybe they just turn these shirts into marketing that it's helping pay for the marketing. Right.
Yeah, we have lots of people that, customers that are selling exercise equipment, for example. And so we offer leggings and sports bras and other apparel. So now they're able to expand their current product line that has nothing to do with apparel, and now they're being able to add additional income to what they already have going on. So that's another just, amazing perk.
Yeah, that's great. And then they don't have to necessarily buy all these different sizes of, leggings and sport bras. Like, you guys have them.
Right.
And when you want to print them, they're ready to go. So it's an easy way to expand another product line without having to buy any product. That's what I love about it.
Sure, yeah, and you can test it too. So it's like, okay, great. The people that buy this gym equipment, they are not interested in T-shirts, and I know that because I didn't spend any money, but I offered it, and no one bought it, and it was great. So I didn't lose any money on that. So now I know that they're not interested in it. So it's just a really great way to test out your market and your target audience,
Yeah. I could see a lot of... kind of to Rich's point there, people that might have an existing store, they're selling a bunch of product, but they have a brand and they have a logo. Well, you can now take that logo, go to Printful, upload that logo, try it on a hat, a T-shirt, a tote bag, all these different things, see what sells, and you don't even have to buy the sample. You could just go with the standard mock-up and all right, now you have maybe 5 or 6 different products. See if they sell. You buy one for yourself. I kind of want a hat of, a couple of different brands. So I think that's a cool way to test out whether you're adding revenue to an existing brand or the idea of just you have no product and you want to start a merch store, basically. So.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Now, we talked about creating the product, and you guys take care of the shipping. Now, when somebody buys from an Ecwid store, how does the order get over to Printful?
Oh, great question. All right, so Ecwid and Printful are friends, and they've connected APIs. So everything is integrated there, which means that they're talking to each other. What would happen after you have connected Printful? You can download the app within Ecwid, and you go to your Printful account, and you start adding your products. We have what's called a product push generator. and it's crazy simple. You can add a product literally in like 2 minutes, if even that. It's so quick.
Okay.
So you click on what you want, upload your designs right there within Printful. You can add the product description, your product title, you pick the price, all that stuff that you want, and that syncs over to Ecwid. And so now it's just connected like internet magic. So the customer now will go to your storefront. Whenever they click it, place the order, that automatically is just sent over to Printful for us to fulfill.
So that's awesome. So now you're basically making money in your sleep, and there's no, I need to cut and paste this order and send it over to Printful and send an email. Like you just sell. Printful, you take the money,
right?
And Printful ships it.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing is, you do the legwork up front, which isn't even that much work. The store owner would set up all that stuff beforehand. You pick out, the product, the colors, the design, and then everything is automated after that. And the beauty of it is now you get to continue to work on the marketing of that, creating the next product, all the things that are really going to help you sell what you just did.
Wow. So let me give an example of if people are listening to this podcast right away, like the World Series is going to happen pretty soon here. So potentially there could be a hero of Game 3 that we don't know yet, and you could maybe there's the announcer says something. You could take that saying, go to Printful, make a design, publish it, put it on your store, and like right away you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, and that could be a viral hit. And by the morning, there's money in your bank account, and Printful's printing shirts, hats, whatever, and ready to go.
I mean, didn't you do something similar? I think we were talking earlier.
Right, yeah.
We didn't get to hear the whole story, but
Sure.
I think it had to do with something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's always, I would say pretty frequently we have a store owner that kind of goes viral. Like that's a pretty common thing. You'll be walking around the fulfillment floor and all of a sudden you're realizing everything is the same. Like they're all printing the same product. And it's people just paying attention, having a niche market. And so, the debates, for example, a few years ago, lots of very great quotes were being said and people were on it. They were sitting there at their TV with their laptop creating the designs as quotes were being made. People would go to bed after they created their product, tweeted out that mock-up generator, literally would wake up with a couple $100,000 in profit, and all that just cost them the time to make that. And even myself, again, like if you talked about the World Series, so there is a certain sports team that I like, and we were up for the national championship. And so I created a shirt in the event that we did win the national championship and prayed that I was not jinxing the whole thing. Took that shirt with me to the sports bar, watched the game. We won. I put that shirt on real quick, took a photo in it. I'd already done the legwork and set the product up. I just hid it from my store. And took a picture of myself wearing the shirt, posted it, tweeted it out there on Instagram, Facebook, and I made about $500 that night off of that. And it just cost me I used my sample order to print the shirt so that I had it there. It's a little bit of planning, predicting, and
So hopefully they didn't see those sales took place till the next day. Otherwise, you were buying the drinks all night.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, it's on you tonight. You're making money while we're sitting here.
Well, the beauty is you're out drinking and having fun, and you were able to launch this from your phone. Like I know you did some legwork ahead of time, but from your phone, basically 2 thumbs, you're basically making a store live, tweeting, posting the picture on social, and letting it happen.
Yeah, exactly. All on the go, literally.
Yeah. So this is a perfect example of that never-ending debate where they're saying, is it the idea or is it the execution? Well, and I know there's a little pun here, but with Ecwid and Printful, it's the idea, because the execution is going to be so flippin' easy,
right?
That it really does put the power back on that idea, and just do you do these simple steps to get it implemented? Because you could just as easily, in hindsight here, I'm thinking about it, you could have made a meme for if they would have lost.
Right.
So you could have been covered both ends.
Exactly.
You know, just thinking ahead, what could happen, what might not happen.
It's not a true fan there, though.
No, of course. Of course. This is a business show. We're talking about, protecting downside risk.
Right.
To your point, you have the options.
Right.
You just have the options. That's what we're getting at. You have an idea. You want to see if something's going to fly, if it may or may not turn into something. This is a very compelling, it's not even an argument, it's kind of no-brainer that why wouldn't you want to do this to some degree? There's no, is there like a, setup fee, or how much cost does this take other than the monthly for the Ecwid, the minimal they have?
Sure, yeah. So with Printful, it's pretty much just like your time spent is kind of the cost. I mean, we have the prices listed on the website. I think I mentioned that. So whatever that price is what you will pay once it has been sold. So there isn't any subscription fees when it comes to Printful. There's no startup fee, monthly fee, anything like that. So it's free. It's free to set up your products. In regards to Printful, yeah, you just pay for whatever you just sold.
Got it. So let's do this hypothetical again. We're setting one up. We're Steve, and he's going to have a shirt or a hat or whatever it is. He sets again, making up numbers. Let's just say it's $15 for the cost of the shirt he picked. He wanted a higher-end shirt. Mm-hmm. Connects PayPal or whatever. I'm sure you connect to multiple, whatever is going on with Ecwid, right? They're just using whatever they have already set up. Mm-hmm. Let's just say in this hypothetical PayPal, the order goes through. Maybe the order's for Steve sets the price, or whoever sets the price. Do they make it be $25? They make it be $30. They could make it be $50 if they wanted to.
Right.
Has anyone made a limited supply? Can you do like numbered shirts? This is me as a sports fan thinking this out. Like, if there was a limited amount, like, oh, hey, there's only going to be 50 of these made.
Sure, yeah. You can, that's kind of the beauty of it all, is that you can do that. I mean, the nice thing about print on demand is you can leave something there forever. But marketing-wise, that might not necessarily be the best idea, because people do tend to move more when there's a sense of urgency. So if you let them know that this is like a limited product, it's only here for this month, you can only get it till the end of this date, and then it's done. That is going to encourage people to purchase it. So as far as marketing goes, that is kind of a smart move that you can play around with. And then, of course, if it does go well, you can always bring that back next year, a couple of months later. Maybe it was something you put on a sweatshirt. Well, now it's summertime, so maybe now whatever that design was that was popular, it's like, hey, now it's on a beach towel. Surprise.
Nice.
You can only get it until August.
So to figure out the rest of this PayPal thing, just real quick, in this hypothetical, we'll say he decided $30, right? Hypothetical. Cost $15 from you. You're shipping it. Forget about shipping costs for a second. Selling it for $30. Does it instantly get charged, like right then, 15, and the money goes to him? How does that actually work?
Sure, that's a really good question that lots of people ask. So there's kind of two transactions that happen close to the same time. And so the first one is between you and your customer, and that transaction runs through however you have it set up on Ecwid. So that is where that money takes place. Your customer pays you the $30 for the product, and then you need to look into whatever setup you have to when you get that money deposited from that. In the meantime, over on Printful, you'll want to have a default payment method set up as well, so that we can charge you the base rate for that stuff, and then we can start automatically fulfilling
some sort
your
of
order.
Credit card on file,
yeah,
or
exactly.
debit card, or
whatever.
whatever.
Printful, you can do credit card, debit card, PayPal. We have a Printful wallet, which is kind of like a prepaid debit card. So you can just upload X amount of money on that, and we'll pull from there. So lots of options there.
So let's say it's PayPal on both sides. So it could be a lot of different things. But so in Steve's example, he charges $30. He gets paid in his account like maybe a day or two later. The order goes to you guys immediately, or is there like a little delay, or is it API sends that order right away?
Yeah, it is right away. It might be like, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But yeah, it goes over pretty immediate. If anyone is concerned about that, because especially when you're starting out, you're like, well, what if I get these orders coming through and I don't have the money for it? You can set up Printful to where you have to manually approve orders. So it comes in, it's saved as a draft. You can wait for that. The only downside about that is it does extend your fulfillment time, and so that's totally okay. You just need to make sure you're being very transparent with your end customer about that, with giving them the right estimation. But there's always, solutions for that stuff. Like,
and they're good problems to have. If all of a sudden you wake up and you had $100,000 in orders, it's still going to potentially be an issue, but it's nice to have the issue of, oh man, do I have enough on my credit card to make sure? So let's just say one of those hypotheticals where someone they hit a home run. They're watching a debate, or literally someone hits a home run in the World Series and they have some sort of saying.
Right.
What's the worst case scenario someone could find themselves in? And I don't usually ask those kind of questions, but say they sold $100,000, but they only have $10,000 on their credit limit. What do you guys warn them, or say, hey, we can't ship these until I do get that, or what? How does that work?
Sure. So that's kind of a lot happening at once.
For sure it is.
Yeah. So,
but it's something that someone was sitting there dreaming of happening.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, I had that saying. I knew it was a stable genius or whatever. And
sure. Yeah. So, one thing. So let's say you didn't have the money or whatever, the transaction failed when it came into Printful, right? Let's say you did have that and whatever went wrong. Your order, it'll say like order failed, and that's nothing to like freak out about. Like your customer doesn't know about that. Everything still went fine there. So all you have to do is just take a nice breath, make sure you get the money in there, and then you just manually approve that order, and it'll go through. Your customer has no idea that ever happened. So people freak out. They're like, what am I supposed to tell my customer? They think their order failed. They got this email.
Right.
I'm like, no, they didn't. It's all good. This is Wes' personal advice, so don't take it out on Printful or anything. But PayPal does have a credit card option now. So that's a really smart thing that I even use. So now I charge people with PayPal. So the money is going there, and then I have it set up to charge my PayPal credit card. And so now, as soon as the funds are available, I just pay off the PayPal credit card with that. So as long as you're keeping it with that, you're not going to run into problems. You're going to run into problems if now you're on Domino's and you're like, oh, yeah, sure, pay with my PayPal credit card I have. So as long as you're sticking with stuff like that, that's a good option as well that you can look into. Again, that is off the record personal Wes advice.
No, of course, and really
not promoting that.
PayPal is not sponsored this.
I'm just saying
podcast.
that's a good option that I have found personally.
And what I was ultimately trying to do there was saying it is a nice issue to have when your only potential issue is, can I float the money for a minute, because I got all kinds of orders coming in. I didn't have to buy product. I didn't have to worry about fulfillment. You're doing that too. I didn't have to didn't have to print the product. Didn't have to do any of that. Printful is doing all of it.
Right.
The worst case scenario you're going to find yourself in is you might have to float some money because there's a day or two till your money goes into the account.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Wes, you probably see a lot of these different stores here, and a lot of. Do you have any good, stories about other customers that have found some of these overnight successes, or anything you can share?
Sure. Sure. So I can't necessarily. So the great thing about Printful is we're white label. So your customer will never know you're using Printful.
Okay.
So we don't put our branding on anything, which is another perk that some of our competitors don't do. So your customer will only ever see your store name. So because of that, I can't necessarily mention our customers. Yeah. But there are some that have done interviews with us, so you can check that out on our blog. We also have a customer section on our page, so you can check those out as well. But yeah, there are really great success stories where people have done that, where they found their niche market. And that's always where the big success comes in, is when they know who they're selling to, they know what they're interested in, especially with all the pop culture stuff that's going around. If you have something that your audience is interested in, you can sell it to them and they will buy it because you're speaking directly to them with that product. And them and all their friends, they're all going to love it. And so that's just the biggest success world that you can get into with everything.
So I imagine people that already have the 100,000 Instagram followers, right? If they have their meme or their saying or something, they could create a couple different products, and they have this built-in people that are waiting for whatever they're selling.
Right, absolutely. There's one I can't talk about because they've done a blog with us before, but it's We Rate Dogs on Twitter, where you can send in your photo of your pet and ask them to rate your dog, and then they give you a rating, and it's always fun. And so their ratings are always kind of like jokes, right? So they'll be like 32 out of 10. And so one guy one day was like, why are you rating all these dogs like this? And their response became really popular among their whole fan base. So they were getting lots of retweets and likes on that response that they gave him. They turned it into a product, and that became one of their most popular products. So if you do have that stuff, even if it's like, let's say you're an Instagram influencer and one of your posts is the most liked post that you've gotten, you can now take that photo and put it on whatever. It can be a pillow. It can be, if it's like a great abstract type thing, you can turn it into leggings and sell that stuff to your fan base that they've already told you, hey, I like this. And you can be like, great, glad you liked it. Here it is on a coffee mug,
Wow, that's very cool, because if you have a big following, you already know what's the most popular post because it's the one with all the likes and the retweets or whatever is the latest viral signal there.
Exactly, so. Yeah, there's lots of influencers, YouTubers that will use us for if there's a catchphrase that just kind of organically came up that they found out their audience likes or thinks is fun. So all that stuff is really great.
I mean, it definitely seems in the world of influencers, it truly is, back to that phrase earlier, it's no-brainer, because they could literally even do a poll in their social media saying, I'm going to do a shirt, what should we do a shirt on?
Right.
And then people want to help support what they think they help create. So voila, built-in audience. It's like the ultimate easy beta test.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about musicians, for example, right? Like people love finding their indie musician that no one else knows about. They want to support them. Well, now that musician who's also independent and doesn't have the funds necessarily for merch, now they can sell shirts and all this stuff. And we even do wall art, so they can do posters. So even independent film artists can have their movie poster up for supporters on Kickstarter or whatever they're like trying to get backers for, So those are all really great options to monetize what you have going on.
Yeah, I bet, a lot of times for like independent filmmakers and such, everybody has the donate button.
Right.
But nobody really wants to donate.
Exactly.
So you can quote unquote donate by buying a poster.
Yeah.
So you're like, I know this poster doesn't cost you this much, so this is my way of donating, but now I'm going to wear the hat, shirt, poster, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So we understand now why Printful. It's pretty obvious why Printful and Ecwid, because now it's super easy. You got the idea. You're going to do it. We have 2-3 minutes here. What would be an example or two, knowing little limited on time there, that someone would do to market and to get this out there more? Obviously, if they have an Instagram account and a bunch of followers, that's going to be pretty easy, like we just alluded to. But what are some other creative ways that people have used this for marketing, in your opinion?
Sure. Well, social media stuff is always king right now. I mean, that's been the case for years. But yeah, so if you don't have like your business profile set up on fill in the blank social media site, you should go ahead and do that, because that's huge. And you can do things like a giveaway, for example, is a very simple, easy way to kind of get started, especially if you're just trying to get likes and followers on Facebook or Instagram. Everyone always loves giveaways on those platforms. And so that's just a really great way to get started. And you can also use those sample products that we talked about to not only test out the product itself, your design, you can now do product photography, and then you can use that same product to do a giveaway with. So you're kind of getting a really good bang for your buck, and now getting a base foundation of followers and stuff like that to kind of kickstart your marketing.
Right, and hopefully you can get a viral loop, because now you have people that are wearing your shirts that you can get to take selfies and different pictures, and maybe even use that same hashtag that's on your shirt, potentially as just the virality loop.
Right, exactly. And best case scenario, right? Like people didn't get the giveaway, but they still love that product, and now they'll just go buy it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they entered their name for this contest. They lost. Now they're like, all right, I can buy the hat for $20.
Right.
Okay, sure, I'll buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I could see how you might be able to, for a big hit, maybe you buy a couple of these sample products and send them to celebrities too, and try to get them to tweet out. I don't know if you're gonna. Celebrities probably get a lot of free stuff in the mail, so maybe that wouldn't work. But But yeah, I like your idea of, okay, you buy it, you get the sample, you wear whatever the merch is.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's instead of just a product shot, which is nice. Now you're wearing it. It's a lifestyle shot. You can now tag it. You can boost your posts and things like that. And now, all right, you already wore the hat once. You can give it away. Nobody's going to care that you wore a hat one time. So,
right.
Wow. Okay, that's great. So, Richard, any last questions?
Wow. I mean, I literally could go another hour, but I really just want to tie it back to just my takeaways are with Printful and Ecwid, you can just get back to the good old, what's a good idea that I just want to test? And that's my big takeaway. You can get back to doing what you do best and you don't have to do it. And if they already have products, you can sell those as well. It's not an either or. You
right.
can do both. But
yeah, I think for people that are influencer, if you have a following, this seems like a no-brainer to add this. If you have a brand and you already are selling e-commerce, adding merch to your store as well seems like kind of an obvious no-brainer. So I'm pumped. I'm ready to start building up my social profiles and think of my own products to start selling. So that's awesome. So, Wes, where can people find out more about Printful, about you? Where can they go next?
Sure. Just printful.com is a great place to start. We have our blog there and all the information. Check out our products that we have available. And yeah, that's a great place to go.
All right. Perfect. Wes, thank you for being on the show. Richard, another great show. I think we now have work to do.
yes, lots to do. Let's get on our profiles right now.
All right, guys. Make it happen. Do you have followers? Do you have an audience? Do you have influence that you haven't turned into money? We can. YouTubers, podcasters, speakers, streamers, authors, and Instagrammers, we can help you turn your influence into money with a print-on-demand store on Ecwid. Not only do we know how to build it, we'll build it for you. If you are that influencer that's ready for results, we have an opportunity for you. Email podcasts@ecwid.com. That's podcasts with an S at ECWID.com.
I've been bragging about Progressive Medical Center to you guys for years, and I'm so excited to have Dr. Agoli with us because, Dr. Agoli, a lot of people walk through your doors, and some of their biggest problems are they're just fatigued, they're tired all the time, and even though they're dieting and exercising, they cannot get the weight off. Why is that?
It's a combination of poor metabolism, inappropriate eating, but more importantly, it's due to a lack of education and really doing the right testing. A lot of our patients are metabolically compromised. What does that mean? Their metabolism is not functioning. The metabolism is responsible for all physical and chemical processes necessary to sustain life, and that includes energy. And without cellular energy, your body is not going to be a burning machine. Let's get back and teach our listeners to be a fat-burning machine.
It's been a lot easier to maintain my weight since Progressive Medical Center started treating me with all-natural supplements, learning proper nutrition, and that can be you today. No more frustrations about being tired or overweight. So why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today through progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life, live it well.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days?
What's that mean? Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.